With scientific studies confirming both men and women have an equal chance of becoming infertile, why then are childless women still going through societal abuse and rejection? How come harsh and unfortunate statements are still being made against women yet to conceive? Some of these words pierce through their hearts like a targeted arrow shot at an enemy on the battlefield.
My own sister took my cooking pot, and when I complained, she openly asked me if the pots were children I have given birth to. This came from my own younger sister. So I told God, as for this year, I will not visit any shrine, and I would solely depend on Him to help me.
Dress to look good, or when I'm even driving. Some people are bold to tell me to focus on having children.
One woman even said, "Jai life on a bonnet pay a baby." I don't know what got into me, and I also said, "Ma, I want your ton was store, your ton was store, and come to Suaquacoto. Young ton was doing to me, and you know, Zintina Mammy who sakatu." And she said, I disrespected her. So when I told my mother, she was very furious, and I said, "Don't mind her. I even handled the situation." And my mother said, "Good. Do you understand?" "Oh, yes. Because if I were your child, would you say that to me? Who gets married to a husband who is capable of taking care of a child, and the person say that I will not give birth? You haven't even come to my house and see that I'm using a contraceptive pill or something like that."
All these heartbreaking comments directed at especially childless women could psychologically affect them. At the Accra Psychiatric Hospital, I meet Dr. Sami Ohene, who has over the years attended to some women who reported with mental health conditions.
You do get people who may present with symptoms of depression, but in evaluating them, you recognize that this is, say, a woman who's been married for 10 years. Everything else appears to be fine, except that when you ask about the family history, you realize that there's no child. And maybe for reasons that are not entirely of her making or whatever, then that would give you a clue. When you start focusing on that in a careful manner, you would then recognize that indeed this is the problem.
Shockingly, Dr. Kennedy Brighton reveals there are some women born without the necessary organs to conceive.
There may be instances where the woman is born without a womb. In my practice, I've seen quite a number, and they are very, very interesting cases. The woman has no womb, and she came to hospital because she was then 24 years, 25 years, and she had not menstruated yet. So that was her first worry. When I examined her, I realized that my fingers were hitting the blind spot, blind end, and there was no structure called cervix there. So I said, okay, then let's do a scan first thing first and see. The scan report comes and no womb. It's a congenital anomaly.
And another one.
And there are also other women that do not have vagina and do not have womb. What you see outside that you call vagina, we call it vulva. You understand? The vagina is actually the canal, the inside that you see. So we've had cases too like that, where the woman has just the vulva, and you've done a scan, and there is nothing. There are other ones too that there is a division. The vagina that you see, the upper part and the lower part develop from two different areas in human development. As you are formed and you are growing inside the womb, the upper part of the vagina and the lower part of the vagina, at a certain point, then they canalize. So the canal is formed. For certain people, the canal is not formed. So there is what we call a division. So you can, in that division, you would have sex, all right. All that you will feel is that your your wife's vagina is shallow, and that when you go in a little, then it hits the end. But what you do not know is that you are meeting a septum.
The causes of infertility vary, and they are different among women and men. For men, some basic lifestyle choices could forever make you childless.
Men are deceived that alcohol makes them perform better. Yeah, it's just a deception. But what the alcohol is actually doing is gradually killing you, because you realize that if you used to take one thought for you to perform, the next time the one thought doesn't help you, they move to two thoughts. So what it's actually doing is killing you gradually. The erection you are getting is because you are producing testosterone. So if your testosterone level is dropping, it means your ability to have an erection is also doing what? It's dropping. But because you think that is a potential that is making you stronger, you are moving from one thought to two thoughts.
Alcohol intake and smoking, can also be a serious factor. And the worrying thing here is the use of these aphrodisiacs in our society.
It's also a problem?
Oh, it's a big problem, because all those things are toxic to sperms. They are toxic to sperms. So, people consume these things thinking that they are helpful, but actually they cause a lot of harm. And here in Ghana alone, there are more than 30 different types of bitters and all these things, and people consume this in large quantities, young people. So sometimes you see a young man who comes, well, he has normal sex, he ejaculates all right, but there's no sperm.
And how do you acquire the infection? You can get it from your husband. You can get it from a man. You get it. You can get it from an unclean toilet. You can get it from a lot of places. It's very important that we talk about cleanliness. Even cleanliness at work, at the work site, your WC at the work site. Or sometimes if you want to joke, visit some WCs and see how they look like. Horrible. Very horrible. And you see, I always tell my friends that when a woman sits on the WC, her thighs are open. Do you get it? And the WC may not be clean enough. So as the urine hits the WC, sometimes there is a splash. So the splash carries bacteria and things like that. For me, I think that before you even sit on the WC, first of all, you need to flush whatever is inside. Even if the water is clean, somebody might have used it without flushing. So flush it to wash it.
And for women, aside the congenital anomalies, everyday common infections could trigger infertility. Women with infertility challenges are not the only ones who, in their closets, weep and ask God questions. Gospel musician Akesi Brempong says he has also been on that narrow road.
If society would treat you differently because you don't have one, then it's a worrying situation. And sometimes people don't understand your situation. You only, the people who are in the situation, you are the only people that understand the situation. And sometimes even couples have varying ideas.
Friends and family didn't understand why, after 4 years in marriage, there was no child. A tubal blockage his wife suffered was initially perceived to be the cause of their problem. After treatment, still, there was no sign.
After, I think, the 3rd year or something, my wife, of marriage, my wife came to me and said, "Kobna, we have been married for this long. We don't have a child." And she started asking a lot of questions. It was as if God was adamant to apply it. And you are doing ministry, young people trying to live for God. Why would God not give us a child?
This was the moment Akesi felt very sad.
I went to God in prayer after my wife had come to me to ask me those questions. So I went to God in prayer, and I sensed that God was telling me that, Masa, before you go married, I had told you a lot of things about this marriage. Did I tell you that the woman will be barren? I'm like, no. So he said, go tell the woman I gave you that when I turn her captivity, she'll be like a dreamer.
Doctors say the more this waiting period continues, the more other medical issues show up in the women fibroid is one of them, and studies suggest it affects 20 to 50% of women of childbearing age. It is high among African American women, denying many of them the joy they envisaged. At the Shai Osudoku District Hospital, Dr. Brighton grants me a rare opportunity to witness at first hand how fibroids look like and the harm they can cause.
Okay, so I am entering one of the theaters here at Shai Osudoku District Hospital. A surgery is happening. The doctors are trying to...
You can come in.
Yeah, one of the fibroids. No, don't worry, so come. So what are we going to see when we get in there?
Yes, you know, we're talking about infertility.
Yeah.
And one of the causes is fibroids. So we are going to see fibroids. This particular one is huge. And then my aim is, why I want you to see it, is for you to be able to educate the general public. To know that some of these things, when they are deceived, that they'll be given something and to melt it, and they go 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, and it is not melting, then there's something wrong. So these are physical things. We have tried to over-spiritualize a lot of physical ailments. So when we are ill, the first thing we do is we want to seek for spiritual interventions. The longer we wait, while seeking for spiritual intervention, the worse the condition becomes. I mean, I'm surprised because a lot of doctors are Christians, they are Muslims, they are, we all believe in God. But I think that we have over-spiritualized ailments in this country.
Okay, so let's go.
So you see it, and probably we will tell the spirituality of it. We have a bishop is here.
Bishop is here.
Bishop, this time they will throw cry. You are going to watch it. Beautiful. Okay,
so you can let's go.
Apron.
Oh yes, it is a huge one. Without prior knowledge about what I was going to see, I would have concluded this woman on the surgical bed is about 7 months pregnant.
Most often than not, sometimes when it's like this, the womb is practically condemned. So, I mean, for such surgeries, we end up removing everything. But what we do here is that we try
to save it. Okay.
By any means possible.
So together with his team, Dr. Bryson started the process. He first slit lengthwise the stomach to have access to the fibroids.
You watch Mata Hospital. And who have a pan. That's the rectus muscle. It's so weak for her. See.
Step by step, he reaches the main fibroid, almost the size of a preterm baby.
See it.
After over 2 hours, Dr. Brighton manages to remove even the minutest fibroid in the woman's womb and save the uterus as well.
Now she'll be fine. The position of the fibroid can be such that you may have the ability to become pregnant, but there will not be space for the baby to stay and grow. Particularly when the fibroid nodules or the nodule is inside the womb, the endometrium, where the baby is supposed to lie. So when that fibroid nodule is there, once the pregnancy comes and the baby moves from the fallopian tube and gets into the inside of the womb where it must be implanted, there is already a fibroid nodule there, which is looking for space. So usually it dislodges the baby, the fetus.
Now back with Paul Carrier. It wasn't easy when she had to go through the various stages of treatment, talk alone the monies she and the husband were spending.
There was a month that I thought I was pregnant. All the signs indicate that I was pregnant. Then all of a sudden I was menstruating. I just said to myself that I won't use pad. Then I was just roaming in the house like that. The blood was just thin. And that particular man, the way I bled, I'm not a heavy bleeder. But that one, the bleeding was too much. And I was so angry. I said I won't wear pad. Then I was just crying, walking naked. The blood was soaking me, staining the hallway, the carpet, everywhere. And I said I won't wear pad. God should see what I'm going through. Because what am I doing wrong? This husband, this marriage, I didn't go to anywhere for it. He himself gave me a good husband, a good home, a good marriage. Why is he denying me a child? I thought I was pregnant, and here I am menstruating again.
7 years after, one day, Porcaria wasn't feeling too well, so she visited the hospital. Various laboratory tests were conducted, and one of them carried the long-awaited good news.
They said that your test is positive. Now I'm saying, hey! You are lying. And I'm so say, just so cried, you make a Jones ask and the lady said, some is here, let me repeat as you know, I want to do fresh. So that fresh urine for you to test me. I know why you women come baby and doesn't mean say. Then I went and urinated and brought it. She did it the same thing. Hey, what am I trying? After that, I don't know how I feel. Me, I'm a baby in my womb. Hey, then after my legs were wobbling like that, and because I been how to express it. Then I started walking. Like when I walk like the past and people are doing, then I check. It's like the hospital is calling. That feeling is they see how my hands are. It's like the hospital has called back. They are calling me back to tell me that the lab we made a mistake. So, and likely as I was going, I saw my husband too going for work and he was driving. Then he stopped and I sat in the car and said, then I started sweating. Say, I said, I was call lab. You said you were going to lab. What happened? I said, Udo, let's go. Where are you going? Say, I'm going to work. I said, Kase, you are going to be parents. So then he just stepped on the brake, approaching brake like that and say, you are like, where is the paper? But the ref, you. I didn't take any paper. Were they supposed to give me paper? I look in the computer and say, but they should print for you. I said, okay, then we are the hospital judge. Let's go in and for them to print for us.
A later scan result showed Porcaria was carrying twins.
From the 6 months going, when I switch on the light, you see them kick. This one okay, cuckoo, and this one okay, cuckoo. So I was just, even in the room, I have named them. I said this one is Nami Chota and the other one is Popielo. Nami Chota means gift, God's gift, and Popielo is happiness or joy. So I've named them. So when I wake up, I will say, why are you people quiet? Popielo, I'm sure Popielo was the aggressive type because he was always kicking. I said, Popielo, they haven't heard from me. Are you hungry? Then I'll put my hands on my stomach like both of them will kick. This one, the Popielo will kick, cuckoo, and the other one will kick maybe once and other.
Yes, it is real, and it is happening in the life of Porcaria after 7 years of waiting.
Early November 14th, they took me to the theater, operated upon me, and I became a mother. They show it to me. Then I started shouting, oh, praise God, I'm a mother, me too. That was what I could hear. It was a miracle. And when God decides to give you something, He gives you, every gift, perfect gift comes from God. Because I don't know whether God foresaw what was going to happen or something like that. Because it was a boy and a girl. Oh, yes. And I lost the girl. But I had a boy. Thanks be to God. He will be 5 years this November. I see my boy And to me, he's a miracle.
This miracle has also been experienced by Akesi Brempong, and how they even discovered it was like a movie. Armed robbers attacked his wife in a taxi and threw her out of the car.
Somebody helped her go to the police station to lodge a complaint. Then the next morning, the police people say they want to do some investigation, but they need a doctor's report so they can start investigation. So she goes to the hospital with her mother, and by divine orchestration, I believe, the doctor they met was a lady, and she insisted that she was going to prescribe some drugs for my wife, but before she prescribes the drugs, she needs a pregnancy test, because she, according to her, if she gives her the drugs and she's pregnant, it could complicate the pregnancy. And she went to do the test, and she was 8 weeks pregnant.
Fast forward, they had a son.
He's 4 years now, and we have another daughter, and in fact another one on the way. You know, I've been working.
Paul Carrier and Akesi Brempong are smiling today because they didn't delay in seeking fertility treatment, unlike Abba, who spent years moving from prayer camps to shrines to herbalists. Abba, just like many others, are not even aware there are interventions.
If you people are here today, I would appeal to you to step up education on infertility and the options available, so we wouldn't have to waste time moving from one herbalist to the other, drinking all forms of concussions. I am aging fast all because of this. I never knew there were options available. Had I known, I wouldn't have gotten to this point.
Yes, through science, a number of interventions have been discovered to help childless couples have their own children.
Like they say, there's a serious tuber blockage that cannot be corrected by surgery. What next? You have to bypass the tubes. And where can you do that? This is where the advanced technologies come in. Okay. So with that, we harvest the eggs from the woman. We'll give her some medication to produce a little bit more eggs, like 10 to 15 eggs. Take her to theater, collect the eggs ourselves. The day we collect the eggs, we'll fertilize them with the husband's sperms. And the embryos will grow in the laboratory for 3 to 5 days. Then we'll select 1 or 2 and then transfer it to the uterus. They don't get pregnant from that. Even the men with a severe male factor, where the sperm count is very, very low, we now have a technology where we can inject a sperm at a time into the egg. A procedure called intracytoplasmic sperm injection, ICSI, ICSI. It has come to solve most of the serious problems that men have so far as infertility is concerned.
This technological advancement is gradually wiping the tears of many people, especially women. At the Ruma Fertility and Specialist Hospital headed by Dr. Kantuma Dagiba, I meet some of these women who are rejoicing after decades of looking for fruit of the womb. One of them is this 52-year-old woman. She has been married for the past 30 years without a child.
By the grace of God, the result is positive. I am pregnant. I am grateful to God. I called my husband on the phone and told him God has done it for us. He responded joyfully, and we have been thanking God. It has not been easy for my husband. He really suffered because of me. Though we are poor, he followed me and spent money anywhere we were directed, even coming here. Now see what God has done. I have gotten what I longed for, and may God continue to help me.
But before she and her husband discovered this technology, they had gone to places and done things.
As for pastors, I have seen many, and all they told me was God will do it. The offerings I gave and all the oil I bought came to naught. For herbalists, I have really visited many. From those who gave me concoctions to drink, through to those who put things around my waist, and even those who inserted things in my private parts. But all didn't work.
Then, this 40-year-old teacher married for the past 4 years.
I've never even experienced pregnancy before. This is my first time. I'm so happy.
I can see. Have you called your husband to tell him?
Yes, I just called him. He was even waiting for the feedback, so I just called him. And he's happy. He's really happy. When I started this Medicaid treatment, I was always crying. I was asking God to help me get one, so that people will know that I'm not just sitting there as if I don't care. Sometimes people think you don't take any action, you are just there, you are not serious. So I was asking God, but you don't have to come and go and tell somebody that this and this is what I'm doing. So I asked God to help me to get one.
He has helped you.
Yes, and I'm so happy.
Though she is educated, she had no choice but to also face the superstition side of the search for a child.
I remember I bought rice, told me I should buy rice so that they would prepare food for some kids. I bought the rice, they prepared the food, they gave the food to the kids. After eating, they will have to smear the dirty hands on you. So you sit there and then they will smear their dirty hands on you. And then sometimes they tell, don't eat eggs. If you want to eat, then you have to pay me so that you eat the egg. I will stop eating the egg for you. So if you want to have the kid, you want it to be successful, don't eat eggs.
Societal pressure and the stigma that comes with it continues to affect many childless couples, especially women. Seeking fertility treatment in time can not only save lives and marriages, but also put perpetual smiles on the face of those in need. The stigma associated with infertility must end with you. It must end now. And for those still in search for children, perhaps this advice from Paul Carrier and Akese Brempong is worth considering.
You are not the first person that has gotten married and you are not giving birth. Some even waited 15 years, 20 years here and there. But yet they give birth. So why can't you trust your God, pray and visit the hospital? They are good hospitals. Ghanaian doctors are doing well. If you are put on medication, take your medication. Pray over your medication and take. If you are supposed, and as a couple, this one, they say a team that work together always win.
With issues of childbirth, it has to do with the destiny, upon the children that you carry. If it's delayed, it's because God is working at it.
Childless couples travel the rocky road of uncertainty. They find themselves always asking, what can we hope for? When will we have just one child who will give us joy and mute the depressing voices of stigma in our ears? Childlessness is rarely a choice. Stop the stigma. This is Seth Kwame Boateng, Joy News.